Since the snow started coming down this week, APD has worked about 215 wrecks as of about noon today. Today we brought in Don Tipps of Don Tipps State Farm Insurance to give us a tutorial on what to do if you find yourself in a similar situation. So you have the accident, you're out on 10th and Fillmore. What do you do?
You know, Andy, the first thing you want to do is obviously call the police.
Yeah.
You always want to do that. One, that covers you. It makes an official report of the claim.
Okay.
For your insurance or for whatever purposes. But that's the first thing you want to do is always call.
And then do you call your agent at that point? Do you bring them into the game there? Or?
Yeah, you know, just like you said, you know, with 200 accidents, that's what you said yesterday,
Yeah.
something like that, you're going to have plenty of time to wait. A whole lot of time to wait, especially on a day like yesterday. They're going to be busy,
right,
and there's going to be a lot of time. If you can, contact your agent right then.
Okay.
And an ideal thing is make sure, you know, if anyone's injured or whatever, you'll have some dialogue with the other
Right.
person, get out, make sure everybody's okay, as long as it's safe, depending on where you are. But exchange information. And what I would tell you to do, a huge tip would be contact their insurance. If you're the one that got hit and you feel like it's their fault, contact their insurance and make sure that it's valid.
Okay.
So many people will leave the accident and find out that that card was, it was just a card.
Yeah.
That it's no good. So not only call your agent, but if they'll advise you, try to get a hold of the other person.
And here's
as well.
something, I guess, because everybody now carries a camera on them at all times,
Right.
courtesy of the phones. Do you need to take a bunch of pictures of it?
You know, any way to cover yourself, because it's amazing. Unfortunately, stories change. You know, what actually happened, if, you know, they're impatient and nobody's injured and you end up leaving because you've waited an hour or so, because the way the APD is going to respond is based on severity.
Right.
If there's no injuries and it's a minor accident, you're going to be on the bottom of the list.
Okay.
So it may be some time, you know, before they can get there. Take the pictures, because the story inevitably changes, and if there's no witnesses and there's no one there, the pictures are perfect for your insurance company, for both.
Okay, so what happens? You get into a car accident and they're not covered, and what happens at that point? Because that seems to happen all the time.
Right, and you and I've talked about this before. 23% of everybody in Texas, so almost 1 in 4. So your odds are pretty good.
Wow.
Hopefully, you've got coverage on your vehicle. Again, you know, we always stress this. Sit down with your agent. Find out what coverages you've got, because that's where uninsured motorist comes into play.
That is one you absolutely want.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, and last question, I know I've got to wrap this real quick, but what if the person you have the wreck with says, hey, let's not call police on this deal, I'll just give you my insurance card? That's normally not copacetic, right?
No, normally they might have a warrant out for them, their arrest, they may not have insurance, they're trying to avoid a ticket or whatever, and that's why I said get their insurance information and call their insurance immediately and make sure it's valid.
All right, if you have any questions for Don Tipps, do me a favor, get a hold of him. He offices over off Southwestern. His number is 355-7812. And if you haven't talked to your agent in over a year, chances are you need a new agent. Up next, it's likely that your kids are asking for some sort of tech gadgets this holiday season. Is that happening in your home?
Oh, yeah.
Well, up next, we're going to talk to an expert to find out what the best ones are this season. Don't go anywhere.
Forever and